Hey guys, it's Drinkwater here. So today I'm gonna be actually making a tutorial. I know it's been a few months actually since I made one. And yeah, so I'm gonna be showing guys how to make a first person setup, first person character setup. Um, and if you guys do want more tutorials, you guys have to ask, because I have run out of ideas for tutorials, which is why I'm not making tutorials. So you guys have to ask for the tutorials you want. Anyways, let's get on to it. So first thing you want to do is get the first person puppet, delete some hands. So delete some parts. So we're going to go to the x-ray. Well, we don't really need to go to the x-ray, but we're going to go here, delete the arms that have that gun on it. Delete this circle here with this logic piece. Delete that projectile, and then we'll have -2 or -2 graphics thermal. And then basically what you're gonna want to do is now you're going to get a gun. Doesn't matter which gun, just any gun. Let's look up, sci-fi guns are my favorite, so let's just look up sci-fi gun, as they are my favorite. Let's see what we can find. So this gun here is made by one of my good buddies, actually. Looks fantastic. But I feel like I don't want to make this video too long, so we're not going to use that because it has like the puppets and stuff like that inside the group. Let's try this one. Yeah, this will work perfect. So we're gonna just remove whatever the hell this is. Alright, now what we're gonna do is we're going to turn this sideways, realign it, and now we're going to scope it in. Let me just preview so I can see the actual hands. We're gonna scope it in to the hands and put it at a position where it's basically holding the gun. And now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into this microchip here, and we're going to delete the idle, and we're going to turn on the fist. So basically it's going to give us a gun grip animation or whatever. And now you're actually gripping the gun. Now you can move it around and fix the pose. And yeah. So that's the basics of it. Alright. Now, next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to bring out the arm a little bit. Just a little tiny bit, not too much. Bring it out a little bit. And you're going to want to bring this up like this. And then you're going to want to bring this up like this, about there. You want it right in the middle. And then what you're going to do is you're going to align this right here, about like that, and realign. And now it's right in the middle, okay? Now you're going to, you can also bring it to the actual middle if you want, and realign it again. So what this does is it basically makes it easier for the player to reach the gun bottom. You know, like how the player has the gun at the bottom and such. So yeah, so we're just gonna do a little pose here that looks like he's grabbing the bottom of the gun. Just gonna move this up a bit. I'm gonna go into the microchip here. I'm gonna just do the same thing, get the fist or the grip gun, doesn't really matter which one you get. And just for saving thermal, I'm just gonna delete the idle. And now we have something that looks like he's gripping the gun. Now we just need to position it a bit more. Something like that. And now we're gonna go into some settings. So we're gonna turn off the run speed. We're gonna turn off the jump for now. I'm not gonna show how to do the jump. Jump should be pretty simple. Arm vigor, we're gonna turn that to 0. Springiness, we're gonna turn that to 1. This gives the player a little bouncy movement type stuff. Lumberiness, we're gonna turn that to about 3. This basically gives you like a side to side movement when you're like moving with the gun. Bounciness, we're gonna turn this to about 4. And we're also gonna make sure that the weapon is non-collidable. One of the most important parts is your weapon to not be collidable. So non-collidable unless you want it to collide with a wall, which you can make a separate tag for that. And yeah, now we have something like this. So this is the middle aim right now. Obviously you don't want the middle aim yet. So that's how you do the middle aim. Now what you can do to fix that, if you actually want the side view aim, just gonna realign this back to how it was. There we go. And let's just do this. Now it should be in the side view. Now it is in the side view. Okay. Now as you can see, the gun looks a bit weird. It's because it's to the front. So to fix that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull the arm back a bit more. Just gonna reposition this right here. That should give us a better view. And there we go, that gives us a way better view. And of course, if you want a closer view, you can also zoom in the camera. Now, when you zoom in the camera, you gotta make sure that you do not move left or right. You have to move just straight forward. And you can go to show hide and electronics, turn that off, and preview visibility, and now you can just move this a little bit to the front and adjust the gun view. Alright, so now we have this. And as you can see, we have some movement. It's not stiff. Now you can make this movement even stronger. You can either, hold on, let's preview the electronics or whatever. You can either change the lumberiness, but that kind of gives you motion sickness, to be honest. I wouldn't use it too much. That's one thing you can change. You can either change the springiness. That gives you more gun movement. Or you can change the breathiness and the bounciness to about 6. So there we get some nice gun movement instead of it just being a stiff walking. And there you go. So now that we got that done, we can just lower the speed of the character just to get, like, make it better. There we go, for example. Alright, so now we got that done. Now, to do the up and down, you're gonna go into the puppet. You're gonna go into the camera controls. Go into the camera pitch, animate body timeline. And you're going to deanimate the head. Actually, deanimate the whole body, okay? I'm gonna deanimate the whole body. And then you're just gonna move this one up. And this one down. Now, basically what this does is it limits you to wherever you put that keyframe is how high and how down you can look. So basically how low and high you can look. So now you got that camera going really smoothly. Sensitivity. So let's say you don't like this up and down thing being too fast and you want it to be slower. What you can do is you can go to these right here, also in the camera controls. So this is the up one right here. This one right here. And this is the down one. So if you want this to be slower, you can do, let's say, -8, for example. And now you're going to turn really, really slow. Now you see how the up and down is still really fast? The way you change that is changing the other one. So you change this timer. And let's say you go here. Let's say you just bring this up, for example. Look at how slowly up and down I move. Now, I'm gonna leave it at default because it doesn't really bother me. So we're just gonna leave those at default. And there we go. Let's just make sure we didn't mess anything up. Perfect. Alright. So now that we got our gun movement and we got our camera going, we're going to do the first of all, before we do that, let's delete these controls. So just go to the display controls and delete that. Now you won't have those controls anymore. We'll have a clear screen. Alright, now we're gonna do the reticle and the shooting effects. So for the reticle, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in here, which is basically the head of the puppet and the little microchip there. You're gonna go inside the head of the puppet, and this is where you're gonna set up everything, your aiming, etc. Okay? So we're gonna get a microchip. We're gonna get an emitter, or you can get a microchip. Now we're gonna get an emitter. We're going to get a signal manipulator, well, 2 actually. We're going to get, we can use a wireless control, but I don't want to, so it doesn't really matter. But we're gonna get a timer. Alright. And we're gonna set this to pulse. And we're gonna set this to smoothing. Smoothing about 0.1, 0.1. Okay? I'm gonna just connect that signal manipulator to here. And this is going to be our camera shake signal manipulator, and this is going to be our shooting signal manipulator. Now we're just going to get some sound effects. Obviously with the new import tool you can download some and import some. So we're just going to get the Fusion Bombard. Now you can edit this. I'm going to try to edit it. Not really that good at editing, but going to try. So excuse me guys, let's see. Alright, so I don't like how that sounds, so we're just gonna use the regular one, whatever. So we're gonna just use that, and we're gonna connect our shooting button. I usually use R1 and L1, but we're gonna connect our shooting button. Where is the remote? Here we go. Controller logic. Go here. R1 button, and we're going to connect our shooting logic into the signal manipulator that's set to pulse, not the smoothing only, the pulse one. Oh, sorry, before we do that, set this to about 0.1, set this to count down, and now we're going to move this not into the pulse, we're going to move it into the timer, and timer finished output into the pulse. Okay, now what this does is it basically limits how fast you shoot. Obviously we have no effect right now, and yeah, there's that. You could also do the count up, so you can hold it. I don't know why it's not working, but alright, we're just gonna disregard that. I believe it does fix it if you do this. No, it's the way we had it, guys. It's the way we had it. Oh, I know it's wrong. Alright. So no, there's nothing wrong with the logic. We just didn't have this set to loop. Alright, I don't know what's going on with this. Let me check. Let me check something. I want to help you guys fix this. I don't know why it's not working. Let's just see my other one here real quick. Do I have it set to the reset? That might be the problem. I don't have it set to the reset. Okay, so possibly don't have it set to the reset. I believe I didn't connect it to the reset. I did not. That is the issue. There we go. Alright, so now we got the shooting sound effect. Alright, good. Now, next thing you want to do is get in a keyframe. You're going to set this keyframe to about 0.1 and 0.1 slowdown. And now you're basically going to do your gun shooting animation. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can do it like this, where you move the gun up and down. Very, very slightly. Maybe a little less slight, so you have less movement. So maybe not that much up. So we're gonna just move this down a little bit more. Around there, something like that. You just want some slight movement so you can see that the gun is actually shooting. Alright. So there we got that. Now the other way of doing gun movement is actually bringing it a little bit back, something like this. I feel like this works way better. And now alright, so it looks like I moved it up and down. So you don't really want to move it up and down. You just want to basically make it jerk back. So we're just going to move it like that and move this like that. Alright. That kind of, why is it not jerking back? Wait, do I have this set to 0.1? Yeah, I do. Oh, it's very slight. It needs to be a little bit more movement, so we're just gonna jerk this back again. Something like that. And move this here. Alright, for some reason this is acting weird. Oh, it's not connected. I could have sworn that was connected. There you go. So now it jerks back. I feel like it's jerking back way too much, so we're just gonna fix that. Let's just get a whole new keyframe so I don't have to redo all that. So we're just gonna fix that, and very, very slight movement. Just a little bit. Alright. And now we're gonna connect this back. Make sure your keyframe is set to 0.1. And if you do 0.2, you do get a slower jerk. Looks like we're running into some issues here. Let's see what's going on. Sorry guys. I don't know what's going on with these issues. Let's just animate the arms. Alright, that is extremely weird as to why it's shaking like that. I believe it's because I moved these arms, but I didn't move them in the up and down keyframe. But alright, let's just leave it like that for now. And let's add the camera shake. So this I usually do about 80. And shake strength to about 10. And then I connect the smoothing signal manipulator into that shaking camera. So now what this does is, whenever I'm shooting, it shakes the camera. Alright. Now, you do need a little bit more camera shake. Let's try 25. Let's change this smoothing up to 0 so it's automatically right away. That's way too much shaking. Let's try 10 again. Let's try to fix this, guys. I don't know why that jerking up and down is happening when I look up and down. It's really weird. Let's see what's going on here. Let's just add another keyframe and try again. Just gonna do the up one for now. See if that fixes it. There we go. That does fix it. I don't know what was going on. I think it was because I moved the hand on the left side. That might be the issue. Me moving that hand on the left side. Let's see if that messes anything up. It definitely is that. That is definitely the problem. So, pretty sure the way to fix that is, instead of moving that hand like that, you can move this like that. Yep, that fixes it. So instead of moving the actual like hand, this part here, it's better to move it using the actual arm. So if you wanted it to be further back, you do something like this, for example, and then you position that. So okay, that we got the fix for that. There we go. We got our camera shake going. We got our camera jerk back going. We got our movement going. And now we need the effects. So the effects are a little bit hard to make. Let's just get a muzzle flash from the Dreamverse. Gunner muzzle flash, something like this. This will work. There you go. Now since this is a sci-fi gun, we're gonna get this like that. Like that. Let's go to... It's a little too bright. Alright, we're gonna leave that like that. Let's see the opacity. You can mess with the opacity. Alright, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this muzzle flash here for the gun right in front of it. Scope that in and adjust this to look like it's coming right out the gun. Obviously you want this to be bigger so you could see the effect when you're shooting. Kind of something like this, and adjust that. And now we're going to go into the keyframe. And you're going to keyframe the muzzle flash and make sure it's off. Now let's see. So now we have something like that. That works out pretty nicely. Let's make this brighter. We could probably make this look better by putting it more inside the gun. You can just experiment, you know. Something like that, for example. Alright. Now, I believe if you want it to be faster, You could use actually let's see something. So right now it's at 0.1. Let's put the slow down. Alright, that's better. So we got the slowdown on the keyframe to 0.1 and the power up to 0.0. Alright, so I'm just going to readjust this. And fix what I had going on here. There we go. Alright. Next is the reticle. So the reticle is fairly easy. You're gonna type in this code. Alright. I'm just gonna space it out so you guys can see it. UI target. Alright, so you're gonna type this in, but these little cross thingies, minus than or greater than, whatever the hell you want to call it, they're going to be closed, basically closed code. So you're gonna close this in. So I'm just gonna close that in right now. And there we go. So that's the UI target. We're going to turn off the show text box. We're going to turn off the 3D. And we're going to turn off the shadow. Now we're going to turn this to white. We're going to change this to center. And we're going to just shrink it. So now we have our aiming crosshair for when you're shooting. There you go. The gun looks like it needs to be a little bit higher because it's a little bit too low at the moment in terms of the crosshair. So we're just gonna basically eyeball this. Still needs to be a little bit higher. Actually, I think that's pretty good, actually. I think that's pretty good. Alright, so now we have something like this. Alright, this is pretty nice. As you can see, we got the gun motion but no shooting. Now, the bullets. So the bullets, they're a little bit of a pain, to be honest. So we're just gonna let's just make a circle with some glow on it. Call that the bullet, or whatever. Let's make this blue. Alright, so this is gonna be the bullet. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to put the bullet in front of the gun. Let's make sure we got invisibility on so I can see what the hell I'm doing. I'm sorry for this really bright stuff, guys. So we're gonna just make sure this is in front of the gun right now. Alright, it is almost in front. And then we're gonna just set the glow back up. Gonna make this bullet ignore gravity. Okay. And we're gonna have our shooting, which is the signal manipulator here, into the emitter. And we're gonna make it emit this bullet. Okay, so hold on. Right about there. Alright, ignore parent speed, time between emits, and continuous. Emit speed, I'm gonna set it to about 8.2 for now. And we're gonna adjust where it's looking as it emits. So we're gonna go into the grid snap, and we're gonna turn this arrow, turn this arrow this way. Now we should have our bullets shooting the way we want. Alright. So they are shooting the way we want. Now to fix this, see how they're not perfectly going straight towards the crosshair? They're a little bit to the side. To fix this, all you're gonna do is just adjust this a little tiny bit, not too much. You don't want to adjust it too much. So the way I usually do this is I get a precise move, and I just eyeball it. There we go. There you go. Now the reason why my gun is moving like that is because my control is messed up. And yeah, guys. And then of course, you know, adding the damage, you guys should know that. You just add a little health modifier to the bullet, scope it in, add how much health you want it to take away, and then you get a health manager. Connect that to whatever you want it to do damage to, how much health it'll have, and connect this into a destroyer. The currently losing health, you can connect it into a keyframe that turns the box red, etc. You guys should know about that. There's a tutorial I made in Molecules Dreams Workshop thing on Dreams for that tutorial. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna conclude this tutorial as done for now. In terms of running, it's really not too difficult. So let's see, I'll show you guys how to do the running. It's really not as difficult as you think. So the running is, you go here. So we have no keyframe for the run right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically make a run keyframe. So we're just gonna connect this. So we're gonna get a keyframe, and we're gonna go into the puppet interface, connect the run strength. Right there. Connect the run strength. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically position this in a way that it looks like we're running. So we're just gonna zoom into the camera and adjust this while we're in the camera. Let's just make sure this is not moving. Oh, it is moving everything. Alright, so we're gonna just adjust this to look like it's running, basically like a running character. So we're gonna just move this a bit like this. There we go. Now notice how this is blocking the view. You don't want that. So what you're gonna do is just adjust a bit more. So we're gonna move this. We're gonna move this to the front. Oh my god. Hold on, guys. This damn control is so hard to manage with. Alright, so we're just gonna move this to the front a bit more. Oh my god. A bit more. Something like that. And move it down a bit. Let's see if that's a better run pose. Alright, that's looking a little bit better. Now we're just going to move this to the side a bit. Something like that should work fine. Alright, so there we go. Now we have that going. And you know, you can fix this. And now all we're gonna do is just basically turn up the running. So I'll put it to 3.0 for example. And now what we're gonna do is just connect the controller sensor's L3 input into the run or the keyframe, doesn't really matter. I'll connect it into the keyframe. Give me a sec. There we go. And I'm gonna change this to about 0.1, 0.1. Oh, hold on. Need to fix some things. I believe that the settings for the puppet were reset. And there we go, guys. That's pretty much it. I feel like it goes back too fast, so we're gonna just bring that slow power up and slow power down a bit higher. Now it's more smoother. Obviously you want it to run faster. Alright, what is going on? Oh. Okay, guys, so let's not do that. Let's connect the run speed here instead of using the keyframe, because it looks like the keyframe is giving it issues. So we're just going to leave this as we had it. So running strength, and connect that into the keyframe. The running strength is going into the keyframe, so it's direct. And that should fix it. Don't know what's going on with this. Oh, why is this acting so weird? Alright, give me 1 sec, guys. Some troubleshooting here with the run. I don't know what's going on as to why it's doing that. It shouldn't be bringing the arm down like that. It's really weird. Just make sure the arm vigor is set to 0. Okay. I hate when stuff like this happens, man. Absolutely annoying. Is it because it's not in the same frame, maybe? Yeah, that's very weird. This is how it should be looking. So what's going on? Yeah, that's some weird shit, man. It shouldn't be like that. The run should be looking like this. Something like that. But for some reason it's looking really, really weird. The gun is going down and stuff like that. I don't know what's going on. Let's try to just fix this before I end this tutorial, guys. I want to fix this for you guys. So I think that the problem is the arm movement. That's what I think the problem is. Alright, so I'm just gonna conclude the tutorial here, guys. And yeah. So hope you guys have a good day.